Hello and welcome to the Homeless Consultants channel. My name is Paul B. I am the Homeless Consultant. And it has been quite a while since I posted a video, probably a good 5 weeks now. I thought I better at least produce some kind of update, let you know what's going on. So, my last videos concerned excruciating pain and those school buses. And remember, the school buses are just a microcosm of what I deal with everywhere I go. At that particular location, the school buses are the ones who come up and just get in your grill, and whether it's intentional or not isn't even the point. It's just common courtesy to think about the impact of what you're doing on other people. So whether they're pulling in up there so they can look down and stare at me, stare at the homeless guy, or if they're just pulling in because the bus fits, whatever. But they're not thinking through, they're not thinking forward with empathy, which is what a competent social species does. Oh gee, I just pulled my big bus right in a T-bone configuration right next to this guy who's sitting in his car working on his computer. Maybe that makes him feel really uncomfortable to have some stranger up there just staring at him while he's trying to do something. You see, that's empathy. But sociopaths and psychopaths don't think that way. It doesn't occur to them. And one of the videos I really want to do, and I've worked on for a couple years now, concerns this sociopathy, psychopathy in Minnesota, which is the source of Minnesota Nice. So everywhere I go, I get this kind of thing. I'm being chased all the time, and it is so cold. The amount of money I am spending on gasoline to run this car to generate almost no heat, just to basically prevent the car from becoming absolutely ice frozen. Folks, it's all the money I have. I mean, I just don't have any money left. I've had to cut back on food and things. I have not been in the hotel. I was in the hotel one more time after that last video I posted 5 weeks ago. I was in the hotel one more time. And when I came out, I mean, I had run the car for something like 36 hours or something. Just running it. I go in the hotel, less than 24 hours later, I come out and the car won't start. Then as I try to get it started, the engine just blew up. All the oil, antifreeze, everything just dumped onto the ground beneath the car, and I had to have it towed, which was my home. And because of this ridiculous coronavirus health scare that has everybody terrified with no good reason, they would transport the car, but they wouldn't transport me. And it was like 10 below zero. And I was having it towed to my mechanics about 2 miles away. And I didn't have any gloves, a hat. And of course, the people at the hotel aren't going to help. Those people could care less. It's a dump of a hotel, $80 a day for that place. So I haven't been back to the hotel. That means my hygiene is bad. Everything I told you about excruciating pain hasn't really subsided to speak of. It's been below zero most of the days since then. All my money, everything I earn is going to just pay for gas. $30 a day, $30 a day, $30 a day, $30 a day, $30 a day. Over and over and over and over just to pay for gasoline for this thing. And when it's sub-zero, this doesn't even generate heat. The engine heat just kind of sort of helps the compartment not be as cold as it is outside. And folks, I'm just running out of places to go. I can't really go anywhere without some creepy stalker. There's another place I go to where this business owner has encouraged me to stay at his outside his place, and there's some creepy guy in a pickup truck who keeps coming in the middle of the night. He pulls in the middle of the night, folks. This is what Minnesotans do with their time. Like maybe 3, 4, 5 in the morning. Well, a bit later, maybe 4, 5, 6 in the morning. This guy will pull in his pickup truck, and he'll just pull it in right there and face me with his bright headlights on and just sit there and rev his engine, which doesn't have a muffler. So it's going... Now what am I supposed to do with that? I've got that thing behind my wheel so I can't just drive away, so my car doesn't roll away. I've got this creep over here doing this. I called the police on him one time. This is the kind of creepy weirdos you've got in Minnesota. This is how they treat the homeless. So that place is out. At that one place I told you about where I used to spend my Thursdays and Fridays when I get out of the hotel and I'm not at work, the school buses have ruined that. There's just nowhere I can go. I don't have any money to play with because it's all going toward gasoline, and I am in so much pain from all those blood blisters and the inability to maintain my hygiene for the last 5 weeks. Folks, the truth is, I'm just waiting to die. I've told you that before. I'm just waiting. I don't know why it won't come. I'm really getting sick of this. In the meantime, I'm doing what I can. I actually made a few videos for this channel. Wow, I mean, 4, 5 weeks ago, almost immediately after I made the last video I posted, I made a video about the Russia-Ukraine thing and how Minnesota's contribution to potentially starting World War III. You know, but I'm getting that thing edited. I'll try to post it, but, you know, it's a month old now. It still applies, though, because, you know, not trying to have a big head or anything, but, you know, I'm speaking from a position where I have spent my lifetime researching this stuff. What I said in there so far, anyway, has proven to be correct. And I made another video about the weather report and how I view the weather report versus how you view the weather report. I think that's a very significant video. And then if you take other homeless people who don't even have the luxury of a car like this, try to imagine what they think when they hear these weather reports. I'll try to post that one as well. I've also been working on another project, actually another YouTube channel entirely. I mean, I've got to do something fun. I mean, I try to make this channel fun to the extent that you can, talking about this topic. I mean, if you look at my trailer video, I mean, look at the stuff I've injected into these videos, over 250 videos or so. I do what I can. If I had my home studio and I wasn't stuck in a car, I could do so much more of that. But I've got to have an outlet where I'm just having fun, doing something interesting. So I've been trying to work on that, but I haven't gotten anywhere. I haven't even created the channel on YouTube yet. It's just too cold. I'm just stuck here trying not to freeze to death. And it's funny, I recorded the first introduction video for that channel, and as I was recording it, the police come up behind me. The government, Minnesota government workers here apparently had called the police because, oh, there's a big bad car sitting way out in the distance of our parking lot. We can't have that. Ostetophobia. It's a public place, folks. That's what our taxes pay for. I have every right to be here. And I don't know what else to tell you. I mean, I'm just beaten down completely. I'm really glad I got the video series about being murdered on here. There's another related video series, or really a full-on documentary I've been trying to create, like I said, for 2 years, that's related to that I really, really want to post before I die. That's gonna be the one that pretty much explains what Minnesota really is. But that's where I'm at, folks. I mean, I just wanted to give you some kind of an update. One thing I noticed, look at the hat. Look at the hat. See how it's tearing all up here, and I had to cut all the hairs off. This thing doesn't even stay on anymore. It just slides. I mean, just the slightest bit of wind, I'm constantly having to do this. This thing was black when I bought it. I don't remember how long ago I got it. I guess you could watch my videos and see when I start wearing this hat. But look at what's happened to this hat being in this car. Just this environment. That kind of degradation is what has happened to me at the same time. That's what's happened to everything in this car. This car is just an unbelievable mess. Like I said, my mechanic, when I had my car towed to my mechanic, and he's a sweetheart of a guy, he's a miracle worker to keep the car going. He's wonderful, and he cares a lot about me. Like I said, he's not a native Minnesotan at all. He moved here from elsewhere. And he's done amazing things to keep this car running this long. I just love the guy. And he has said this car doesn't have a whole lot of time left. He said, you know, you've been living on borrowed time long enough with this car. He's at the point where he won't even put it on the rack anymore. He's too afraid that with all the rust, it's just going to fall down and kill him. The gas tank, you know, is tied on with straps, those nylon straps, and all the things that those straps are attached to is rusting away. When I go to put gas in the car, I can barely even line it up because the part where you put the spout in to fill it is kind of sort of disconnected from the gas tank. That's been a problem for a long time. So a lot of this gasoline is just evaporating out of there. But he has said this car isn't going to last long. There's going to come a day, and it's probably going to be sooner than later, when this car just stops. And if you don't have another option, you're going to be out there. And that is death in Minnesota. I have another video that concerns social services, and this might be one of the reasons why I stopped making videos more than anything. But it's very personal. And you're probably thinking, well, geez, you're filming your whole life in front of us. How personal could it be? Well, folks, this one, I'm just really tired of having my heart broken. I'm really tired of it. And I'm not talking about like dating and stuff like that. I can't do that. I mean, in my situation here, my body situation, but having a connection with another person. I've always felt that friendship is superior to love anyway. Agape love is very much superior to eros. But social services kind of sort of stepped in and screwed that all up too. Because that's what they do. Social services always knows what's best. And they don't want homeless people talking to normal people. You know, like I was 5 minutes before I was dumped out of my home. When I was exactly the same person I am today. Except I didn't have these experiences. But if you're osteophobic, like Minnesota Social Services is, like a switch. The minute you become homeless and that label homeless is on you, all of a sudden they assume that you're completely different than what you are. And they know what's best. But I've talked about social services over and over and over again, and how they're completely useless because they seem to feel that they are our parents. I don't need a parent, folks. I'm in my 50s. I'm a professional. I don't need a parent. I need help. I do. But I don't need a parent. Especially an utterly incompetent, osteophobic parent, which is what social services is. But I had a chance to build a friendship with someone who I genuinely liked. Really liked. Just like. I mean, not love, not dating or anything. It was a girl, but she was normal. Absolutely normal. I mean, not from Minnesota, of course. The only way I'll ever find her is through social services, and social services will never do it. We're not going to let anyone come in contact with a homeless person because homeless people are bad and evil and rotten, right? So I'll never see her again. And there's really nothing else I can tell you, folks. I mean, it's just been suffering. Like I said, at this point, I just wish I would wake up dead. I wish this would just be all over. I've had it. It doesn't matter. Minnesota won. They'll probably spend eternity burning in the hottest hell imaginable for it. But at this point, it's not my job to save them. They made their bed. They can lie in it. These people are evil, they're mean, they're vicious, they are self-absorbed to such an extreme that you don't see this anywhere else really, except in the realm of, serial killers, psychopaths, just these people are monsters. They're just vicious. And everywhere I go, I see it. I see it in my workplace. I see it when I go try to sit somewhere and just exist. I see it when I try to go get help for something, and there just aren't enough people in this state who are not from Minnesota, and that's what we need, are normal people who are not raised by this ridiculous cult mentality that turns these people into nutcases, into psychos, into sociopaths, very dangerous ones. I'm just too isolated. And that's why it hurts so bad when I met that girl, because I expected her to be like any other Minnesotan, right? That's what you expect. But then she kept talking to me, which was my first clue that something was different, because Minnesotans don't do that. And she opened herself up a little bit to me and told me some things about her. And I mean, we ended up, she gave me a hug at the end. And I just watched her walk away. Normally I wouldn't do that. I'd be like, what's your name? How can I get a hold of you? Can we go get some coffee? I'd like to learn more about your situation. But that was so unexpected. After 15 years of being in Minnesota, the last thing you expect from somebody you just meet at a random place is that they're going to be normal. Minnesotans aren't. This one was. And she was barely gone before it just suddenly clicked in my brain. Holy cow, this is what my life was like for 40 years before I moved to Minnesota. This is what normal people are like. And you just let her go. She was normal. She wasn't a psychopath. She wasn't a sociopath. She wasn't dangerous. She was just normal. And that's what I need to connect with. Whether they're male or female. Again, friendship is what I want. I'm in no position for love and romance. I'm not in any position for that. And I let her go because I have been trained by Minnesota like a dog who just gets the crap beat out of him all the time. I have been trained to respond in a way that isn't normal when I meet a normal person because it's so rare that I meet a normal person. And the only hope I had of finding this girl again, because she had had her own interaction with social services, was to go to social services, which I did. And I said, I don't know who this girl is. I don't know what her name is. Here's her description. Here's her story. I'm not asking you to tell me anything at all about her. That needs to be private. Here's my information. Whoever she is, give it to her and let her decide. She wants to contact me, and I know from our interaction that she would have if she had gotten that information. 5 weeks later, nothing. They didn't give her that information, did they? Because by doing that, they would be giving her a homeless guy's information, and homeless people are bad, evil, rotten. right? Social services decides who is going to know each other and who will not know each other. Because they're up here and we're down here. They're the parent, we're the little kiddies. These sociopaths and psychopaths put themselves up there and tell you how it's going to be. And I've told you that about social services from day one on this channel. If these people were really trying to help, I could sit down there and I could demonstrate I am a competent professional. Here's what I need to get out of this. Help me get it, and I will get out of this. But they will have none of that. It's always, you sit down, you fill out all these paperwork, you tell us all this stuff that isn't even relevant because we need to put it in our computer and send it to the government so that we'll get more funding. And then we'll run you through our ridiculous processes, which will exclude a white, male, well-educated, hard-working, non-disabled, no children, non-veteran, not a drug addict, not an alcoholic, not insane. You will get no help whatsoever. They could have told me that when I walked in the door, but instead they run you through that ringer because that's how they get their funding. And then they tell you, well, here's what we're going to do for you. And what they offer me is not what I need to get out of this. That was, 6 years ago when I first dealt with social services trying to get their help, and they wouldn't help. Instead, they try to lord it over you. Here's what we will do. I'm sitting down here saying, this is what I need. Throughout my whole professional career, in 2 of my jobs, they actually created new job titles for me. Because I have so many skills and I'm so good at what I do. And I'm so good at getting it done by myself. The one created a whole department with me in charge. They created the job for me because I'm that competent and they wanted to utilize my skills. And I guess some little kid who went to school studying psychology or something because they're trying to figure out why they're so screwed up, sitting down there lording it over me, telling me what they're going to do for me, when I know what to tell them I need to get out of this. And I did that for a year, almost 2 years, before I just wrote social services off. It's a complete waste of time. In that time, I sold off everything I'd worked my whole life for to finance that ridiculous running around in circles, filling out papers for these social services. If they just helped me from day one, I would have retained everything I'd worked my life for, and I would have got out of this. And now I go to them and I say, you know what? Out of 8 billion people on Earth, and out of 5.5 million psychos in Minnesota, I actually met somebody who I like, who I connected with, who I would like to know more about. And the 2 of us as friends can do what friends do in a normal part of the world outside of Minnesota, and they can help each other. Moral support, emotional support, financial support, any support. I could have helped her, believe it or not. And I would have loved to. But social services, they're not going to make sure that I ever see her again. So why haven't I made a video in 5 weeks, folks? Would you, in this situation? Just so you can have these psychos come in here from Minnesota, the psycho stalkers come in and put a thumbs down on it immediately? While the people who are watching this apparently aren't putting thumbs ups on it? So after 5-6 years of making these videos, hundreds of videos, they don't do anything in the YouTube algorithm at all? I'll post what I can for you, folks. I'll post those videos I made already that are essentially done. We'll see where it goes, but until this ridiculous deep freeze that lasts for 2-3 months in Minnesota ends, I'm just stuck in this weird place where I'm trying to survive, and yet I just want to die. And it's not a good place to be. But that's Minnesota. That's Minnesota nice. If you're thinking of moving to Minnesota, you might want to reconsider that to save your life. I'll see you when I see you. Thank you for watching.